Welcome to your favorite channel, where you'll learn everything you need to know to improve your health and lifestyle. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a fascinating partnership in the world of vitamins. We're going to talk about how vitamin D, a nutrient we all think we know, is really only telling half the story without its absolutely crucial sidekick, vitamin K2.
So let me ask you something. When you think strong bones, what's the first vitamin that pops into your head? I'm willing to bet most of you just thought vitamin D, right? Well, what if I told you that by itself, it's only doing half the job?
And look, it's true. Vitamin D is an absolute superstar. Its main gig is to basically unlock the door, allowing our bodies to absorb calcium from the food and supplements we take. Without enough D, all that good calcium just passes right through us. But here's where it gets tricky. Once that calcium is in your system, it needs directions. If it lands in the right spot, your bones and teeth, that's perfect. But if it gets lost and ends up in your arteries or other soft tissues, that can cause some serious issues down the road. And that's the problem we need to solve.
So how do we make sure calcium gets where it needs to go? Well, enter our unsung hero, vitamin K2. While vitamin D is getting all the attention, K2 is the one working quietly behind the scenes, playing a part that is absolutely essential.
I absolutely love the analogy on this slide. Think of vitamin K2 as a biological GPS, or maybe a traffic cop for calcium. Its entire job is to activate these special proteins that literally grab calcium and escort it directly to your bones, while putting up roadblocks to keep it out of your arteries.
So it's pretty clear, right? Neither of these vitamins can really do their best work alone. They're the perfect team. They have this incredible synergy. So let's take a look at what's actually happening inside our bodies when they team up.
Okay, so here's the play-by-play. First, vitamin D gets the calcium into your system. It also helps create two really important proteins, one called osteocalcin, which helps bind calcium to your bones, and another called MGP, which stops calcium from building up in your arteries. But here's the catch. Vitamin D makes these proteins in an off state. They're just kind of floating around, not doing anything. And that's when vitamin K2 comes in to save the day. K2 is the spark that flips the on switch for both of these proteins, so they can finally get to work.
You know, this quote just nails it. Vitamin D3 is like the delivery truck that drops off all the bricks, the calcium, at the construction site. But vitamin K2 is the foreman who tells the workers exactly where to put those bricks to build a strong, sturdy building.
And the results of this teamwork? They're amazing. You're not just strengthening your bones and lowering your risk of osteoporosis. You're also actively protecting your heart and your entire cardiovascular system by preventing that dangerous calcification of the arteries. It is a genuine win-win for your long-term health.
Okay, so I think we can all agree we need both. The next big question is, where do we get them? So let's talk about how you can find these vitamins right on your plate. For vitamin D, this list probably won't surprise you too much. Oily fish like salmon are packed with it, so are egg yolks and a lot of fortified foods like milk and cheese. And of course, the absolute best source is getting some sensible sun exposure. But for a lot of us, especially in the winter, food is definitely key. Now, K2 sources, this is where things get a little more interesting, because they're not as common in a typical Western diet. The undisputed champion is natto, which is a fermented soybean dish. In fact, some studies have linked the high amount of natto eaten in Japan to their population's better bone health. But you can also find K2 in things like hard cheeses, egg yolks, grass-fed butter, and even sauerkraut.
Now, while food is always the best place to start, let's be real. Getting the optimal amounts, especially of K2, can be pretty tough from diet alone. And that's where smart supplementation comes into the picture. But, and this is a big but, getting the balance right is everything.
This is the million-dollar question, right? We know they work together, but does taking more of one mean you need more of the other? The answer is a definite, resounding yes.
This table here gives a fantastic general guideline. Just look at how the recommended dose of K2 goes up right alongside your D3 intake. It makes total sense when you think about it. The more calcium vitamin D helps you absorb, the more traffic cops, our vitamin K2, you're going to need to direct all that traffic properly.
But to really truly get this right, you've got to know your own levels. For vitamin D, the sweet spot, the optimal range you're shooting for, is between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. And you can find out your number with a simple blood test. Honestly, getting tested is the absolute best way to figure out your personal starting point. Okay, and this is a really, really important point, so please listen up. Vitamin K plays a role in how our blood clots. So if you are taking any kind of blood-thinning medication, like an anticoagulant, you absolutely 100% must talk to your doctor before you even think about starting a vitamin K2 supplement. Please be safe.
All right, let's bring it all home. What's the main idea you should walk away with today?
It all boils down to the partnership. Vitamin D opens the front door for calcium. Vitamin K2 is the traffic cop telling it where to go. Taking high doses of D without enough K2 isn't just a missed opportunity, it could actually be counterproductive. When you make sure you have enough of both, you're doing a huge favor for both your bones and your heart. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. It's not just about which vitamins you take, it's about how they work together. So ask yourself, are your vitamins really working as a team? Thanks so much for tuning in.
Here are some tips to help you have a healthy and strong body and mind. Remember that we upload videos every day.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about how to biohack your health span for a longer, healthier life.
This quote really nails it. The goal isn't just more years, it's more good years, you know?
So this brings us to a crucial idea: the difference between your lifespan and your health span. Get this, on average, we spend 20% of our lives in poor health. The goal is to shrink that. So the big question is, what can we actually do to build a longer, better health span?
We're going to break it down using this idea, the pyramid of longevity. Let's start from the bottom up.
All right, first up is the foundation. These are the absolute non-negotiables for a long and healthy life.
So you've got 5 pillars: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress, and oral health. Nailing these is step 1.
Okay, moving up the pyramid. Now we're talking tools, using science and tech to enhance those basics.
And this is really what biohacking is all about: using data to take control of your own biology. Think about things like wearables, red light therapy, or even VR to really dial in your daily habits.
Then there are specific compounds, backed by data, that can literally support you on a cellular level.
Now for the very top of the pyramid, the scientific frontier. This is where things get really cutting edge.
And it's all driven by this one huge question. Is aging itself a disease we can actually treat?
Scientists are looking at existing drugs, like GLP-1s and others, for their potential anti-aging effects.
One key strategy? Using senolytics to clear out old zombie cells that actually drive the aging process.
Plus, new diagnostics can measure your biological age and find disease way before you'd ever feel it.
So, the real point here is how to put this all together for your own personalized journey.
Remember the pyramid. Master that foundation first. Then optimize with data, and then explore the frontier with an expert.
So the tools are here, the science exists. The only question left is, how are you going to use them?
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can bring you better content. See you tomorrow with a new video.